everybody. I'm going to talk to you today about mind mapping, and what I'd like to do is actually get you involved. You've noticed that you've got some coloured pieces of paper and coloured pens on your table. The other thing you need is your mind, so did you bring those with you?
No.
Oh, a bit of a problem. Okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, I'm going to kick off. I have some notes here, which I've done in a mind map format, which I don't expect you to read from where you're sitting, but you'll see that they're quite sparse. The paper is round this way. I've got different colours on sheets here, and I've got symbols and pictures and words. I'm not particularly artistic at the moment, but it's enough just to trigger off what I need to talk about. So I'm going to explain what they are, and then I'm going to get you having a go, if you would. If you don't want to join in, that's fine, but it's just a bit sad if you don't. So, mind mapping, what is mind mapping all about? Well, it is a way of unlocking the potential of your mind, okay? And it's an easy way to get information into your mind and out of it again. Okay, so there's all sorts of ways you might use it. So think about in the course of your day when you need information. It might be note-taking, it might be getting ideas down on paper, it might be planning, you might be doing a shopping list traditionally we do, but maybe you could mind map it. So there's all sorts of things that you can do, and some have started already. So, the brain, a bit of brain science here. Two sides of the brain, the left and the right side of the brain. I've talked about this before when I've done other talks. L for left is also what the brain's good for. L for logic thinking, L for language processing, L for linear, and L for lists. Okay, so all the sort of things that traditionally our education system, our work ethic, our society values are really mainly left brain activities. But we do have another side of the brain. You may not know this, but you have. And that's the right side of the brain. The only R I can come up with is rhythm. Okay, so that's music. Okay. It's also intuitive. It's also about images, about pictures. It's about your imagination. It's about your awareness. Now, you will all have aspects of that, but traditionally that's not really valued as much in the workplace and the education system. But if you can use the right side of your brain more to do your left brain tasks, you're actually going to be using both parts of your brain, and it might actually be fun. So I hope that you're going to have a go at this. So what you need is you need to have a blank piece of paper. You can choose whatever colour you like. I have put a couple of white pieces in there, just in case you really don't want to cope with the colours, it's just a bit too much for you. And you've also got a pencil if you really don't want to do colours, but please can I ask you not to use these pads here with the lined piece of paper. Because as soon as you do that, traditionally someone says, okay, you write about, let's do your 40 seconds, write it down. Traditionally people take something like this, work down in a linear fashion, you get your introduction, you do something, you think, well actually I should have mentioned that one bit there, but you haven't put a gap in, and you're actually constricted to do it in a left brain way. The point of doing it this way round is you're actually freeing up your mind away from this thought, because it's got to be in a linear way. Okay? So blank underlined landscape, you've got that, that's great. Some coloured pens. Now please don't fight over the colours, you can share whatever. It really is up to you how you do this. It's about you being creative, it's about you doing it in the way that you want. There's not a wrong or a right way of doing this. I did this recently with one of my dyslexic pupils, and she really struggled to just get down and put the ideas down because she thought she had to do it right. You can do a second one, third one. I've got more bits of paper, yeah? You can do more than one at a go. You've got your colour pens, you've got your brain, some of you might have to borrow somebody else's. You need to have the left side of your brain and the right side of your brain, okay? Then you're going to, I'm going to give you the topic in a moment, but the topic in the middle, okay? And the way I've done this is I've got connector lines with the key points. So I'm not actually really reading what I'm doing here. I'm talking, and I'm hoping it's making sense to you, but because I've done this and I've planned it, I know the way it's going. I can glance back and see, have I missed anything out? Should I actually mention anything more at this point? There are different ways of doing it. This is, some people might say it's more of a spidergram. Other people do, they put words on the lines and so on. So there's different ways of doing it. But the idea is that you're actually getting away from this left brain step-by-step approach. You're putting your topic in the middle, and then you're putting key words down to do with the topic. If you want to do pictures, like I did in my wonderful artistic representation here in light bulb, that's supposed to be, you can do that. If you're not artistic, don't. It doesn't matter. We want to do stick man. It really doesn't matter. It's what works for you. So it's about keywords, which are about main ideas, and it's all really, it is how to, the the brain works. We do tend to think more keyword, trigger an idea. You know, you're sitting there, you're doing something, triggers off, you're probably doing it now when I'm talking, I'll say something like your mind goes off to something else. Okay? We do that all the time, and that's actually a strength of what we do. So using words and pictures, connectors, different colours or one colour, doesn't really matter. Now, some of you have done this before, and you may want to do a different topic, and that's fine. But I thought the topic we could do is my home. Assuming none of you live in a cardboard box, I thought it's probably somewhere that you live. And now I've done it in the shape of a badly drawn house, just a bit of fun. But you can just write the words, or you can put a circle, you can put a piece of a castle in it, whatever. Don't spend too long doing the graphics I've asked you to do. And then what I suggest is, well, it really depends on what you want to write about it. If you just want to do a description about how many rooms you've got, what the rooms look like and so on, you can just list the rooms round in any particular order, and then you can get some points to say what they're about. So for example, in your living room, you might say you've got plasma TV and whatever, or the cat sits by the window, whatever it is that you want to actually put in there. So it's just what you want to put down about your home, okay? Just the sort of key points. And if there isn't a particular structure yet, don't worry, I can sort of help you with that. Does that make sense? Are you happy to give that a go?
Yes, Karina.
Yeah, thank you. On your marks, get set. Okay, thank you. Finished yet?
Almost.
Interestingly, it's not a criticism, but some of you are already putting in the connectors as you go, and that's fine, that's how you want to work. Some people prefer to do it more sort of free and then join it up, okay? It's this, we feel we have to get it structured quite quickly, and that's fine if that's the way you're working, but sometimes it's better just to say, just put the ideas down and then see what goes on after that. Feel free to use different colours.
I'm going back to it somewhere.
Okay, that's
Just
fine.
reviewing it again.
All right, okay. Whenever you're doing any sort of preparations, to say if this were to give a talk, you would go through several stages anyway in organising your thoughts. So this is good for collating all your thoughts, getting them down, getting them some sort of structure. Then, if say you asked to write an essay about your home, you could then look at it, have the overview, think about the order that works best, and then write it out. I was doing this with the people on Monday, and we've done this for about 2 or 3 weeks. Did the initial mind map, got it in a particular, just random order. Then we did a second one, which then she worked out the order. I just tried to steer her in the way that she wanted to go. She then put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then she then typed it up on the computer, and she's basically written about her dyslexic journey. So she's written about how dyslexia affected her and so on, but she really struggled to get her ideas clear, to get her ideas down on paper. She came to me yesterday, she's given me the printout, she's done it, and she feels so good about herself. And she would have really struggled to do that without mind mapping. So it works particularly for dyslexics, but I think it can work for anybody who's prepared to use their brain. How are we doing? Well, obviously we're not going to spend a lot of time on this.
No, for mine, you put yours in circles as well.
Yeah? Okay. How are you finding it? Are you just like putting keywords down or stuff? Is it helpful to sort of work out where your ideas are going, or do you think it's just a waste of time? Or you certainly like, but it isn't camera.
I was going to say I'm not quite sure where this is sort of heading, other than listing rooms in my house and the things in them. I'm not really understanding what the objective is.
The reason I've picked that topic is because it's something easy for people to relate to. I could have said, plan your 40 seconds, for example. You know, so what you're going to say was something about your business. But you know, we're very short of time to do that in sort of 5 minutes, which is possibly going to take a long time. It's where you've got, perhaps you want to produce a write-up or do a presentation. Like for example here, I did mind maps on my talk, so I just put the ideas down. They were sort of in my head anyway, but rather than writing it down and say introduction, this, this and this, I've done it in that way. And because it's visual, I'm also using the visual part of my mind, so it's helped me remember it as well as organise my thoughts. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. First time I came across mind mapping, I wasn't really sure about it, because we everything's very left-brained. Our education system is very left-brained, and some people can be quite resistant to trying to do it in a right-brain way. But the more I've used it, the more I've found because it's actually very powerful, and it just unlocks your potential.
So are you asking us to put a few words down that relate to the rooms within the
Yeah, so you've got your
house?
rooms, so you can say something about, so if I said to you, okay, tell me about your kitchen, for example, so you've got things to do with your kitchen. Yeah. Spend another couple of minutes on that, perhaps? It's the artistic ones. Pretty.
They're having way too much fun out
They
there.
are.
It's only 50% social, you know.
This is a business tool though. It is interesting, just sort of glancing around the room, how some of you are obviously very visual and doing lots of pictures. Some are very word-based, and then there's the mixture. So, as I say, it's not about being right or wrong. Lucy, what time have you got? Any questions?
I found this a really great way of just.
Yeah.
Me being a bloke, I'm rubbish at being intuitive and creative. You
Fancy
women
that,
are absolutely
though.
fantastic at it, so this really helps me.
Yeah.
Especially if I want to improve my marketing, for instance.
Yeah.
What else can I do? And I can start off with marketing, I can start with what my products are, and then start branching out, how can I say about those things? And all of a sudden I've got a new marketing plan or a new thing I never thought of. Never
Yes.
thought if I write things down in a
Yeah,
list or
yeah.
try to use my left brain. But this really, really helps with that because it can get quite off from where I was at the beginning.
Yes.
And even do like a start similar to like a linear line. Think of a word, what's associated with that
Yeah.
word, what's associated with that word, and then
Yeah.
the sixth line, something really different from this one, but you can associate it back
Yeah.
and create some marketing
Thank
around
you.
that. So it
Are
really
you
is-
rewriting your workshop at the end of the week?
I'm sorry?
And you're now rewriting your workshop at the end of the month?
Mind mapping will be used a lot to create the real content of the workshop, and also for me to remember what to say when
I
I'm
was going to
there.
say, because
By
actually,
far.
for me, when I mind mapped it, I mean, in some ways I don't really need to look at this, but partly because I'm trying to be the medium of the message, you know, and I'm sort of showing you, and I just want to make sure I'm covering everything. But it is, having done it in that way, somehow, it's about just being yourself and actually having, you know, worked effectively with how your brain works. Yeah. Has anybody else used mind mapping successfully?
I've just used it to plan my day.
Okay, now that's an interesting one, so how would you do that then? Okay, so have you done it in a particular order?
No, what I've done is I've put the things I need to do in the day, and then I've looked at it again and put numbers against which ones I think
Okay.
are priorities.
Yeah.
And I could have done it in different colours and things like that.
Yeah, doesn't matter. You can go and colour in after.
But by putting it out in a sort of spider, if you like,
Yes.
it doesn't give any priority to anything until I
Yes.
then afterwards do it. Whereas if I did a list,
Yes.
I'd put the thing I thought of first
Exactly.
at the top,
Yes.
which would seem to give it a priority,
Yes.
but it might not actually be the most important thing to do.
Exactly. I think that's a very good point you mentioned that, Mike. It is about the left side of the brain likes to sort of judge and analyse and put labels on, and the right side of the brain is just about putting the stuff down, seeing what happens, and then you bring the left side of the brain. I'm not knocking the left side of the brain stuff here at all, don't get me wrong. It's the way, remember I said at the beginning, it's an easy way to get information in and out of your brain. Then you can do the left brain bit. You can get the structure, work out the priorities and all the rest of it.
I think that's key, without talking about priority, because I use Notepad on for the computer fairly regularly. And you're right, you put the list down, how you think of it, and then I end up highlighting it in red to make prioritise it. I put a number by it, or I make it bold or italic.
Arrows and
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
So then it ends up looking really messy.
Well, it does. What it means is you don't look at it in the end. You don't know. I then you write a subsequent list with pulling out bits that are important. That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Any other comments, or, I mean, if you hated it, that's fine, I don't mind.
No, I think I jumped sort of 6 steps straight away, so
Yeah.
I didn't put the rooms in the house at all. I put children, garden, hill, maintenance, work and dogs,
Right,
because those are all things associated with my home,
That's
and
fine.
any of those could be expanded in any direction.
yes.
But they start by thinking of the rooms. Well, the rooms belong to the children, and the children coming up.
It's a nice way of looking at it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think about colours.
You will.
Obviously.
Yes, yeah.
So I've done mine with all colours and thinking about what I do.
Yes.
It's all colour related and
Yes.
makes me think about why I've actually planned the rooms and the colours I have
That's great.
to my life.
And would you've got that if you've both said right about your home here?
No,
No.
no.
No. When I did this with this dyslexic pupil, it was really interesting because I had all the colours out and we would just talk about things and I said, just choose the colour. And she chose the darker colours for the things she felt unhappy about. So for example, when it came to dyslexia, which was a real big thing for her, she felt really bad about how it affected her life. She chose all the dark blues and the blacks and everything. And then she took her daughter, she chose a nice sort of yellow, orangey thing, so her daughter suggests she might be dyslexic. And it was just fascinating how that side of the brain was working. Last week at Maidenhead, I was sitting next to somebody, I won't say who, but the colours, it was really artistic how he did all the colours he'd chosen and actually matched his banner, his corporate banner. And he said, I didn't realise I'd done that. So it's the right side of the brain actually coming through and helping what you're doing. Maybe you don't want to let yourself out, but anyway. Probably our time is up now. Any last questions, last requests? Well, I hope you found it's been useful. If you want to chat more to me later, that's fine. But I would encourage you to try it out because there's lots of different ways that you can use it. And thank you for joining and being such a great group. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.